What's up, YouTube? Thanks for clicking on my video. Today, I have the most subscribers I've ever had. We're celebrating my 420th subscriber count. So today, we're going to be making a Bong for Adobe Dimensions. And how to make anything for Adobe Dimensions, of course, what you do first is open up your 3D program. And we're going to use Blender because it's free. So if you don't have Blender, download it. It's free to use. It's a very powerful system. When you open it up, you get greeted with this. Click off to make that disappear, and you have your start scene. So I don't need the light right now. I'm going to make that invisible. I don't need the camera. Make that invisible. I'm going to hit X and delete the cube. I'm going to come over here to add. I'm going to add a cylinder. I'm going to zoom in, G and Z, and move him up so he sits on the plane like that. And I'm actually going to undo that because I forgot a step. Come over here and add the cylinder again. And pay attention to this pop up here. And we're going to add the segments and bump them up a bit. And I think 60 is probably good for my video. You could probably do more. I don't really think they need to do more, but you can. So yeah, click off and that menu never comes back again. So let's select this, right click to shade smooth, come over here to your vertices, click on the normals and auto smooth. And there we have some good smoothing. All right, so now we're going to G and Z and move them up. Tab in edit mode, hit the three icons so we select the faces. G and Z to move this guy down, S and scale him, G, Z again, and just maybe a little larger, so S and scale up again. Now E and Z to extrude up, and this is the basic shape of our bong we're going to make. So I have that face selected. I'm just going to hit X and delete faces so I can look inside of it. And right now, this is my basic. All right, so I'm going to hit Shift Z to go to my wireframe view, hit the 2 key so I select the lines, which you can also just click up there. Select the bottom face, Command B to bevel, and just pull my mouse cursor away and use my mouse wheel to add segments, and then click to place. You can also change it up here, Shift Z to come out of that, and yeah, I'd say that looks okay. Maybe I'll just scale a little differently. Okay, yeah, that's good. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Shift Z, select that, zoom in, Command B to bevel. I'm just going to bevel this guy out. Alright. I'm going to come up here, select those guys, and now I need to make the top of this. So I'm going to E and S, E and Z, E and S again, and scale it downwards. And now I'm going to go to my wireframe view. I need to make that outer lip a little smaller. But let's see, so E and Z, and I actually think that's a good size. Shift plus the mouse wheel lets you scroll up, G to grab it because I don't want to extrude it right now, and then Z, bring it down on the Z axis, put it about right there in the middle, and then E again, Z, bring it to about there, and then S, and then F to make that face. Alright, so now we have the basic shape, Command B to bevel that. Let's make that a little bigger, G and Z to move it down a little. Look at the side view. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Alright, now I gotta select this little internal guy here. So, can I just do this like that? Yes, I can. Command B and bevel the crap out of him to about the same position. And getting real close here. Gotta bevel this guy. Alright, so there's a couple ways that we can grab this. We gotta go and use, I think, the longer way. I think if I just selected broadly, it would select too many things. So I'm going to collect one surf vertex and hold Shift and I think Shift and Control. Yeah, Shift and Control. And I'm just going to undo that one and make sure I click on the edge I want. Shift, Control, click. As you can see, it's like bridging the connection in the most direct way from the last thing you clicked. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with the top. Because I want these to be beveled. These are too sharp. You know what I mean? Like no bong would have a perfectly sharp edge like this, so we need to kind of soften this up. So Command B for that, and bevel that out to about there's probably pretty good. Let's size it down a little. So also when you do size, it's making so when you hit S, hit also Shift Z, and now it won't scale it on the Z axis, but only with the X and Y axis. So it holds its like roundness right there. All right, so now I need to select the inner part here. Shift X, B, click there, and then click right there. Command B, bevel that out also, and that's our top. Oh, I'd say that looks pretty good, if I don't say so myself, but we're not fully done. We gotta bring a cut in and put something in here. So I'm gonna add another cylinder with Shift A. I'm gonna G, now I'm gonna undo that because I wanna mess with the parameters. Make the segments, okay, cool, the segments are the same, so that's fine. So Shift Z and just scale this guy down, make him kind of like a tube. I'm just going to kind of rotate him on the x-axis with R and X key. I'm just going to grab and place him yeah, that should be pretty good. Actually, no, it needs to be a little rotated a little more on the X. All right, just put it like right there, and now we got to do a bowline cut. So we're going to go over here to this guy, and then this guy. We're going to bring up this menu. No, we're not. We're going to go over to Shift, do a Boolean, and then we're going to come over here and select the other cylinder. And now if we make this guy invisible, we have a hole. Beautiful. Just like what we wanted. So I'm going to come over to the first cylinder and click Apply. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Tab into Edit Mode. Let us okay, so probably scratch that idea. I have a better idea on how to do this. We're going to get to that in a second, on how to make that hole look better. But first, we're just going to make the little bowl. So let's bring in a cylinder. G and Z, S to make it tinier, G and S and Z to scale it like this, G to put it there, S to scale it down a little, and tab into edit mode, and now we know how to make the inner part. So we're going to S, ES, GZ to kind of grab that, move it up, E, make that a little bigger, EZ, ES. Actually, no, there's going to be an easier way to do this one. We're going to select that face, and we're going to select that face also, hit X, delete faces, and for this one, we are going to add solidity. Make them nice and thick. There, that's pretty good. Let's just get in here and add some bevels, right? Because we want some bevels, we don't want those hard edges. So Shift Z in the edit mode, make sure you got the side edges selected. Command B, bevel that. Shift Z, select this. Command B, bevel that. Shift Z to select this guy. Command B, and it's doing something weird. G, Z. Okay, so I'm just going to click apply. So now it's that thickness, and then I'm going to do beveling on it. And there. That's basically our bowl. Wow, look at that. So let's place them in here. G, just sort of rotate on the X. Scale him up, he's kind of small. GZ. GX. GY, just kind of placing them a little better. Alright, let's smooth off that shading. Alright, so that placement is not the best, so I'm going to select this guy and just kind of move him in a little bit. And now for the rim here, we're just going to give it a little bit of a ring. So tab back at edit mode, change this dude's normals. And now we're going to add a circle. Increase these to 60 to match with the cylinder. We're going to add a, I'm going to come over here to its geometry. Oh, well, I guess we're just going to do solidify. Come over here to solidify. Oh, I'm so stupid. I added the wrong circle. Shift A. You don't want to do this circle. You want to add a curved circle. And now we get to come over here to its data, click on geometry, and we are gonna give it some geometry here. Alright, so now we're going to give it some depth. This little ring. I'm going to make that extrusion 0. Resolution like 9. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little better. Do shade smooth. And that's probably okay. So we're just going to G and Z rotate on the x-axis and scale this guy way down. Put him right there. G. Look at the front side. Rotate him a little more on the X. Scale it down a little more. And yeah, I guess that's not the worst ring for sealing off something. I don't know, you can obviously spend more time on this, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to add a quick plane so we can get a quick look at this in dimensions. Bring back my light. Come over here, change the engine to cycles. Select, okay, I just need this guy and this guy. We're going to come over here and add a new material. Transmission all the way up. Come over here to rendered view. Do the same thing with this one. Make those guys the same material. And let's turn the roughness on this down a lot. Those are way too rough. And let's select the other Bezier curve here and give it a material of black for its ring. And I don't know, that's basically a bong. Yeah, we did it. Let's see if we can put something like weed in there. I'm going to add, I'm going to do an icosphere. Give it some subdivisions. Apply that. I'm just going to give it some displacement and the displacement modifier, and we can now adjust this with textures. So we come down here to the texture, and we're going to do, I don't really know what to pick. Just want it to really look ridiculous. Yeah, that's probably okay. Scale this guy down a lot. I'm just going to make like kind of a weird ball. Let's change its size. Yeah, that's like a nug, right? Yeah, that's totally a nug. All right, let's make this guy green. We're getting somewhere, guys. We're getting somewhere. Kind of like a nice little green. Let's darken that down a little bit. Yeah, this is getting closer. I'm going to apply this displace. I'm going to see what happens if I do a second displace. If this is going to get me any better things here. I don't know, that's a little better. All right, cool. So that's the nug. I'm going to apply that second displace and get out of render mode so I can place this a little easier. Okay. Go to the side view, get rid of this shit, and grab and place that like right in there. Go to the front view, G, just kind of put him right there. And yeah. All right, so now let's do a quick smoke. Quick effects, quick smoke. Hit play. And we've got a little bit of smoke coming out. That's pretty cool. Dang, look at that. We're making progress, guys. All right, so to do we have the smoke domain, and we have a couple things. So we're going to do high resolution. Just make this like 3. No, let's make it 2. Let's keep it 1. The higher you make that, the more intense it's going to be on your computer, but the better it's going to look. And for the sphere, icosphere, there it is. I want to change the smoke color. Let's make it really bright. I want this to be smoke and fire. And let's hit play again. Yes, perfect. Let's see how that looks in a render. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So yeah, how do you export this? Well, we're just gonna export the whole thing, and you guys will understand what doesn't work and what does work. So we're going to just do this in my desktop, untitled OBJ, export that. Come over here to dimensions once this is done. Open dimensions. Let dimensions open. My computer is breathing heavily, and I'm worried it's going to die. Fingers crossed, you guys. All right, now that dimensions is open, we're just going to go to create new. All right, this is really slow, so I'm probably just going to quit this and discard changes just so I can make sure I can finish this tutorial, you know? Don't save. All right, so Command I. I'm going to import the untitled. And you're going to notice a couple things are going to be different. So first off, there's a big box. I'm just going to delete this plane. If I can just select the plane and delete it. The icosphere, no, the smoke domain, delete the smoke domain. Ah, let's see, come on. Oh, that's right, it's different. Controls A, F. Select this, the cylinder here. Delete this guy. And all right, we're getting pretty close. Cylinder 1, glass. All right, and cylinder 02, glass. And I'm just going to move this up a little bit because I'm getting something weird happening with the glass that I'm not super psyched about. It's a little bit too heavy down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cylinder, go over to its glass, and I'm just going to change probably the index refraction a little bit. See what that gets me. But that's basically it. Yeah, that's how you make a bong for Adobe Dimensions. And then you just click render it out. And if you want to fill this with liquid, like you would obviously go into your Blender and, do a quick effect of a fluid animation where fluid pours in here to fill this up, just like I made the smoke animation for the weed. Obviously, the smoke animation did not come through. Blender cannot deal with anything that's procedural. It only works with OBJs and HDRI images for the backgrounds, so it's pretty limited. It's I really only use dimensions for specific things. Blender is honestly a much more powerful system, and you can get a lot more out of the renderer. Yeah, so this was fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you guys watched my video. This has been great. Just be sure to hit those buttons because it helps me out, and you guys have a good one. Goodbye.